So the Rangers are expected to sign defenseman Patrik Nemeth, as Larry Brooks has reported. So nothing official, but when free agency begins in a couple of days, it sounds like the Rangers will sign Patrik Nemeth, reportedly 2 to 3 year deal at about $2.5 million per year. And I think this is a pretty good signing. It's not a crazy move, but it's certainly notable. This will be a player that is slotted in to play every night. He is a legitimate third pairing defenseman. He is definitely a number 5 or so type defenseman, I would say. Maybe 5 or 6, but certainly not someone that you'd expect to be a healthy scratch or anything like that. I don't know if I would necessarily describe him as an upgrade to Brendan Smith. I mean, I guess logically, they're both left-handed, similar age. I guess Smith was a little older, more defensively inclined. I'd say that Nemeth is even more defensively inclined than Smith. So Smith was ideally more of a 6th, 7th defenseman, although he kind of played more than that as a Ranger recently. But either way, Nemeth coming in, who's a Swede. Here's how I'm kind of seeing this, and what kind of makes this interesting is you have Lindgren and I think Drury and company wants players with set roles. Well, I think with the defense, it would appear like you have that set with Lindgren Fox as a pair, Miller Trouba, and Nemeth Lundkvist, assuming Lundkvist makes the team, which I think that is the expectation. Lundkvist being a Swede, I think Nemeth is the perfect guy to kind of be that, stabilizing force, where Lundkvist can kind of roam around. Nemeth is more of a stay-at-home defenseman. He has size. He has playoff experience with Dallas earlier in his career, but more so with Colorado more recently. It's not something that Ranger fans should be too familiar with. He's basically spent almost all of his career in the Western Conference. Was drafted by the Stars and had played there for the better part of 4 seasons. Then was on Colorado for 2, then Detroit for about a year and a half, and then he was traded back to Colorado this past season. So, there's really no offensive stats to speak of, but he definitely is, like I said, more of a defensive defenseman. Definitely will be involved in the penalty kill, can eat minutes and has size, can make a good pass, isn't necessary, has a bit of speed for his size. So look, I think this is a smart signing by Chris Drury. And I was wanting the Rangers to bring in a left side defenseman who's just this type of player, a veteran, someone that you can trust, someone that can help the rest of the D, because really the only guy that I look at on that defense that has really any sort of experience is Jacob Trouba. That's basically it, right? I mean, Lindgren and Fox are young players. Of course, K'Andre Miller was a rookie last season, and Nils Lundkvist will be a rookie. So you need a guy like that. And I honestly, I guess, wouldn't be surprised maybe if they bring another defenseman. I guess as of now, Libor Hayek and or Anthony Bitetto would be the 7th or 8th defenseman, depending on how many defensemen they carry. And that's fine. I mean, if Hayek was your 7th and Bitetto was your 8th, that would be more than fine. But maybe they do something else. It's possible. But yeah, Nemeth, I think, it checks off a lot of boxes. We'll see whether it's 2 or 3 years. I would assume it'll be 2, but if it's 3, and I think the cap hit is reasonable. That's about where he had been getting paid. In fact, I believe his last contract might have been $3 million per year. I think that he signed with Detroit. So yeah, I think market value wise, it's fine. Is this is this as significant a move as obviously the Buchnevich trade or the Goodrow move? No, but it's certainly this will be a player that, if things go to plan, will be he'll be in uniform, basically every single night. And, we'll see, hopefully that's someone that Gerard Gallant will like in his lineup. But yeah, so Patrik Nemeth, the Swede, who had been on, Colorado Avalanche fans are happy he's gone, happy that he won't be back. And that's pretty typical, especially with defensemen that aren't, necessarily top 4 defensemen and ones that, you're going to remember more of the glaring mistakes by defensemen. That's just how it is. When you don't hear about them, that's a good night. But, Nemeth, I think he is known for maybe having a couple of, like, where he'll have a really bad brain fart every now and then. Like, he is a defensive defenseman, but I think he had, like, when Jonathan Marchessault scored a big goal in that Vegas Colorado series, I'm pretty sure Nemeth was the one that messed it up. So it seems like Colorado fans are happy to see him go. I think that he may have been better in their eyes his first stint in Colorado, but again, I'm interested in seeing how he does, and I think most Ranger fans won't have too much of a problem with this. His plus minus in his career has been pretty solid, and he eats a lot of there's a lot of ice time there for him. And this is the type, if you want to make the playoffs and you want to have success in the playoffs, he's a 6'3", 230 defenseman. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, you need guys of that size. And I think he wore an A on Detroit as well, so maybe there's some leadership abilities there. But Chris Drury's vision is clear. Very. Goodrow, Blais, Nemeth, all players that are physical, have some size, penalty kill ability. Like, just, it's not kind of like that all talent thing. It is, it is clear, we knew this, what this team needed to do and what Chris Drury is trying to do. But, I've been hard on him for some things so far, specifically the Buchnevich trade. I did not like that one, but hey, for this one, Patrik Nemeth signing, I like it. I'm curious what other Ranger fans think, and this is, like I said, this will be a very busy next few days. I'm sure we're going to hear some more news trickling in on what the Rangers are going to do in free agency.